If it were April, that's
Stay
the
petty so you don't have to
spot.
get
The Bulls have
Let's
become
go.
very familiar with the play-in spot, right? They haven't won 50 games or a playoff series since 2014-15 when Derrick Rose and Jimmy Butler were leading the team. But I gotta tell you, Perk, anytime any of us go to an arena, what is the one jersey you are guaranteed to see? You're gonna see a Michael Jordan Bulls jersey, literally anywhere in the NBA. They are a popular team. This fan base just hasn't had a whole lot to cheer for, at least recently. But do you have optimism? Why can they return to relevancy here?
Well, one, not with this team. I don't have optimism. But look, the one thing that the Bulls do have, they have a lot of eye candy, attractive pieces for the trade market, right? And when you think about this squad, the only person on this team that, if I'm the Bulls, that's untouchable is Kobe White. They need to make a move by the trade deadline. And actually, that move needs to be Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram is a guy that is scratching the surface of his prime, that could go out there and get you 25 to 27 points a night. You bring him alongside Kobe White, and then you start adding pieces from there.
You're right. They do have a lot of eye candy, and you mentioned 25 points. They're one of 4 teams to have 3 players score 25. So, yeah, Vucevic, Zach LaVine, and, like you said, Kobe White. But you guys know that song, Baby, Why Don't You Just Meet Me in the Middle? That's the only time being in the middle is okay, other than being a middle child. I'm proudly a middle child, right? In the NBA, you do not want to be in the middle, and that's where they comfortably are. They either need to be striving for greatness to try to build a championship team. I don't think that this is in the cards for them, or they need to be in a rebuild. Ever since, outside of the 2021-2022 season, the last 5 seasons, they've not finished better than, 9th, 10th, or 11th? So they have not even just been in the middle. They've been below that for a long time. They have to make a decision on which direction they need to go.
Hit me with that line one more time. I don't think I...
Baby, why don't you just meet me
in the middle? All right, that was strong. All right, that was better. That was better. Sorry, our vocals were not warmed up for that first one. Sorry.
It's still early.
The Bulls are not going to return to relevance. They are not. Not anytime soon. You can say go get Brandon Ingram. Ultimately, they've been trying to patch up what is just not working. You said it. Don't be in the middle. They've been in the middle for multiple years. So they need to strip it down. Like you said, they have a lot of attractive pieces. And they look like they were headed that direction when Alex Caruso and they bring in Giddey. Yeah. Let's go younger. Let's go younger and cheaper. And then ultimately they got into a space where it's just like, this is still not going to work. But I don't know if ownership, right? If ownership, mind you, they also own the Chicago White Sox, which had the worst baseball team in history. So they're not stressed about that. Only thing I'm going to say is that the Bulls, they do not look like they're going in the right direction for the last 10 years, and it doesn't look like it's changing.
The reason I feel like they're in the middle and want to stay in the middle a little bit is because of the addition of the play-in tournament, right? It stops you a little bit from going.
So, like, their season should end in December?
I'm just saying, it gives you hope.
You mentioned
the
White Sox ownership piece. The White Sox lost 121 games this season. That's the most in the majors since 1899.
Don't tell me that ownership is ready to bolster up their team. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
All right, it's time to go shot for shot. Are you ready, big bro? Big bro, little sis, we're going to break down the New York Knicks because they've won 4 out of their last 5. They won 3 in a row. How about this? You take the good, and I will take the bad.
I'm always going to take the good with the New York Knicks, and I have been preaching since the start of the season, since they made this trade, that these 2 guys need to develop a 2-man game. Well, guess what, Shanae?
What?
They're the best duo, pick-and-roll duo in the game right now. Best pick-and-pop in the game right now. Karl-Anthony Towns and big body Brunson. I want you to take a look at this. Look how Karl-Anthony Towns switches angle on the screen to pop to the middle of the floor. Yes, we talk about his ability to shoot the 3-point shot, but he's one of the most skilled bigs in the game. And once he get downhill, there's no stopping the big fella. Snatching the screws out the rim. This is what you bring Karl-Anthony Towns in for again. The screen setting, the pick and pop. Here's it go again. 54% above the break. That's like that's the best in the NBA. Knocking down 3-point shots. Jalen Brunson over his last 2 games has been averaging double-figure assists. This is why they the best duo.
Okay, that's the best. That's number one. That's first. But let's go to second worst, areas where they can improve. And it has to be defensively, because look at this duo right here. This is a shocker. Karl-Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, they're actually second worst in defending pick and rolls. So this is where they can actually do so much better. Look at this tape right here. Okay, first and foremost, the matchup is Mikal Bridges guarding Trae Young. Here comes the screen. First mistake. Karl-Anthony Towns, he's too far in drop coverage. What does that allow him to do? To go dancing with the stars. It's a great season right here. He goes under Mikal Bridges. He gets lost, and Trae knocks down the three. So if they can tighten up these defensive possessions, it's going to be so much better for their offense. And speaking of which, this is where the Knicks, they rank. All right, they went from 7th in offense to 3rd, so they've improved. But defense, look at this drop. Look at this decline. Y'all, normally I'm like, last half
Stop with the numbers. The numbers.
Wait.
8.3 on Tuesdays above the break. Look, don't stat me with this. We all know that this is all about chemistry, how you come together. And while fans and even us in the media, we are impatient. Is it championship or bust? They went all in. That's not the way a game of basketball works. And we're going to give you some examples. Let's show you this graphic. What do all 4 of these teams have in common? Look, the 04-05 Heat, look, they add Shaq, right? 07-08 team, they add Pau Gasol. You look, actually, the 10-11 Heat, they had a lot of pieces. And then LeBron James shows up and Kevin Love shows up to the 14-15. But what did they all do in year 2? In year 2, they all won championships. Why? Because it takes time to fill out the roster. The Miami Heat team added Jason Williams, Antoine Walker, Gary Payton. They added players that helped build out their rosters, veterans, shooters, bigs. They figured out what they needed and they added it. And then obviously, you know, one big fella left Miami, then the Lakers had a hole. They added Pau Gasol. They lost in the finals the first year, and then the next 2 years, they won back-to-back championships. So it was year 2 with their collective group. And they even have played. Look at JJ getting cooked. Look at JJ's terrible haircut. My God. I don't have hair, and I would have done that. Now go back to the Miami Heat, the Heatles. They added Shane Battier. They added multiple players, Mike Miller. But also the following year, they added another piece in Ray Allen. So they had that. They were adding pieces to fill out their roster. And then guess what? Your boy, I know a little bit about this. T. Lue, head coach. Look, they added Channing, they added me, just, you know, bringing the squad together. Look at this outstanding dime. Bron was nothing before me. We know that. We acknowledge that. And obviously what I'm saying is that they won the championship and then they filled out their roster in 2016. And what do the last 2 teams have in common? Back up. My guy, James Jones. He was there for the Heat restructure. He was there for the Cleveland restructure. And he's the president of basketball operations in Phoenix. So when you talk about, hey, does this guy know how to fill out a roster? He did it. Mason Plumlee, Monte Morris, Tyus Jones. They filled in the gaps in the areas in which they needed, and now this Phoenix Suns team looks like they're absolutely rolling.
Okay, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Come on.
I love that. Your numbers are fact.
Year 2 of chemistry, just like our chemistry has gotten better and better as all of the years have gone on.
Stop
it's
touching
also,
me. Everyone's
Richard,
touching me.
year
Everyone's
2
touching me. Stop
of the
touching
NBA Cup. And it continues Friday night with another group stage doubleheader. You got Steph and the Warriors taking on the Pelicans, Luka and the Mavs taking on the Denver Nuggets. NBA Countdown gets you started.
Hey, Richard, you tried with that one. I see you.
I'm going New Orleans.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Keep them down, try to wear, pull up long range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA over, it's